Hey GGs, welcome to week one, workout one of the series. So right now we're going to start out with some mobility. We're going to do the world's greatest stretch. You can see that I'm in a half lunge position, and if one knee is up, the opposite arm is down, and then the other arm is going all the way up, stretching, then going between my arm and leg, getting that big deep stretch for your hips and your thoracic cavity. So we're going to go ahead and do 8 reps of these. So big stretch. After we do one side, we're actually going to go into some dynamic child's pose. So dynamic means you're continuing to move throughout the exercise. So we're doing 5 of these. You're going to stretch, bring your arms completely straight and stretch back into your hips. Go a little bit over tabletop position, come back down, stretch out the hips and your back. So again, we're just doing 5 of these. You can hold it for as long as you want, but make sure it's dynamic, getting blood flow into your joints and into your muscles. So after that, we're going to switch to the other leg. Another world's greatest stretch, but on the other side. There you go, opposite leg up in the knee position, and then the other arm is going down. The arm that's reaching towards the sky is going to come back through in between your arm and leg. Awesome. So you can see that my lunge position is a little bit greater than 90 degrees. That will give you a greater stretch in your hips. So you kind of should set it up to where it feels more comfortable for you and your body. So after your world's greatest stretch, we're going to get into some cat-cow. So cow is looking up high to the sky, cat is arching your back. So when you do cow, I want you to exhale. So we're going to exhale for cow. You're going to inhale, hold it for cat, and then exhale. Big deep breaths here. Okay, we're doing 8 reps. There we go. Big arch. Contract your ab muscles there. And we're going to really make that spine get some fluid into your spinal discs. That's really good for your back and your hips and your whole mid-chain, okay? So then we are going to do what's called a frog stretch, but we're going to make this dynamic as well, making sure that we're getting blood flow throughout the stretch and not just tearing muscles on a cold, static stretch. So we want to kind of sprawl out our legs into a froggy position. It's kind of hard to see, sorry about that, but you're going to move kind of in and out of that stretch. It's going to be a big stretch for your hip adductors. You're going to feel it in between your thighs a lot, and it's going to really open up those hips so that when we do leg exercises, you're going to target the right muscles. When we don't have open joints, it's really hard for our body to move in the intended way to target the muscles that we want to. So mobility is really important to target those muscles that we're aiming for in the exercise. Exercise is coming up. So frog stretch done. We did 10 of those. We're going to go into a puppy pose. So this is just kind of like you feel it out, however long you want to stay in there. Just make sure you're doing really big, deep breaths. So I do straight puppy pose for about 3 deep breaths. Then I'll go over to the right. It's going to stretch out that entire left side of your body. I'll do 3 deep breaths there. I'm going to move on over to the left. It's going to stretch out the whole right side of my body. This feels great. And just stay, You can do 3 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever feels good for you. But make sure you're doing really deep belly breaths. Perfect. So here we're going to make sure our knees are out. So our toes are out at a 45-degree angle and our knees are following that angle. So we want our knees to be outside of our hips, and we're going to go into a low squat stretch. It's a lot easier to hold on to something, kind of like I'm doing with this porch fence. Otherwise you can get into a deeper stretch without falling backwards. So I kind of have this as something to hold on to. So I did 3 of these. You're going to go down, hold yourself. You're going to really open up those hips. Hold it in that deep stretch as long as you want. I did about 3 to 5 seconds, breathing deeply in and out the entire time. So your hips should be feeling real open after this stretch as well. Okay. So here we're doing like a downward dog, but we're doing calf stretches and hamstring stretches. So you're going to alternate your feet. So you're going to go on one toe, then the other toe, and it kind of allows it to be stretching one leg versus the other. Then we're going into some downward dog, all the way up, reach high to the sky, come back down. You can do however many of those you'd like. I only did a couple. I really just kind of wanted to do it for the calf stretch. Here I am contemplating my life. Okay, these are some deep dynamic lunges. So as you can see, you're going to lunge forward. You're going to kind of get your knee close to your toes in that lunge. And as you're lunging forward, you're going to bring your arms high to the sky, stretch backwards, and that's going to stretch out your back, your core, your hips are going to get a really deep stretch when your arms are high up in the sky. So this is really stretching out your entire body. So stretch high, and as soon as you come down, we're actually doing a hamstring stretch right there. So allow your toe to be up. Deep lunge, toe is up, and you're stretching that hamstring out. Okay, I ended up doing 6 each side. Here's a different angle, so you can see that my lunge is outside of my hips, so it's going 45 degrees outside of my hips. Lunging down to hamstring stretch. Sorry, lunging, deep lunge there, going down into the hamstring stretch. Anytime you're going away from your body, like here, you're going to exhale. When you're coming more centered towards your body, you're going to inhale, exhale, release all the tension. So you're going to bring it all in, stretch, inhale, then release the tension. So exhale. There you go. All right, we're getting into the workout. So we're doing 2 sets of this. This is a little circuit of about 6 exercises. So we're starting off with hip thrusts, just body weight. So you want to make sure that your feet are placed about 90 degrees when your hips are up in the air. There should be a 90-degree angle there between your legs and your calf. Squeeze. When you're at the top, you're going to squeeze your lower belly and your glutes at the same time. Okay? You should start to feel a burn after you did the 15. We did 15 of these. This one's really hard to see, so sorry about that. You're going to grab a 10-pound dumbbell and you're going to extend your arm. You're going to hold it on one end each of the dumbbell and you're going to extend it over your head while doing another 10 hip thrusts. You're going to feel this in your upper abs. Like as soon as you're holding something heavy over your head, your core has got to work to stabilize, especially if your lower body's working as well. So I'm not touching the ground with the dumbbell, I'm just hovering the dumbbell over my head when I'm doing this, okay? Then, no rest here. We're going straight into a chest press with dumbbells on each side, 10 pounds is what I have. And you're going to do a hip thrust hold while you're doing this, okay? Squeeze those glutes, squeeze your core, and go ahead and do 10 chest press for me. There you go. Great job. Woo! Okay, this one. Single arm shoulder press. So you can see with one arm is working, the other arm is held out straight for balance. You're in a seated position and you're going to lean back ever so slightly to engage your core. You're going to feel this in your hip flexors and your core and your shoulders, obviously. But this is a really good stabilizing exercise. Here's another angle where you can see that I'm kind of at a 45-degree angle backwards. And I'm going to shoulder press up. I'm not doing a normal shoulder press where the dumbbell is like parallel to my body. It's more perpendicular. It's kind of like a front raise instead. So we're doing 10 of these each side. Core is engaged. Hip flexors are holding you up. There you go. Okay. Next exercise, RDLs. This one's a tough one. If we're not doing it correctly, we'll feel it in our lower back, and that's not what we want to do. So as you can see, there's a completely straight line as I'm going down in my back. So what I want you to do is you're going to keep those dumbbells as close to your legs the entire time on the way down, and I just go a couple inches below my kneecaps. So slide the dumbbells down your legs, a little past your kneecaps, and I want you to engage your lower belly this entire time, okay? Straight back, engaged core, and you're going to slide the dumbbells down your shins. And we want a slight bend in the knee. Okay, we're doing 10 reps of these. As soon as you've done 10, you're going to get into like an RDL position in the lower spot, and you're going to do 10 bent over rows, okay? Same time, both arms. And I want you to swing the dumbbells toward your hips. That's going to engage your lower lats a little bit more. So while you're in this position, I really want you to squeeze your lower belly. Otherwise, your back's going to start to feel it again. Okay. We're moving quickly here. So here we got some dumbbell swings. It's like kettlebell swings, but we're just using the 10-pound dumbbell. So it's kind of like the RDL, but we're hinging at our hips, swinging the dumbbell through our legs, and using that momentum to bring the dumbbell forward. So you're going to go forward through your legs, hinging at your hips, squeezing your core, and you're doing 15 of those. Those should have gotten your heart rate up kind of a lot, so feel free to rest in between. But the last one that you're doing is called an animal pose. So it's kind of like a plank, but as you can see, my legs are like a 90 degrees and my knees are off the mat. So you're just on your toes there. Everything is flat. You can see my back is completely flat. And this is actually really going to work your legs, your arms, and your core. So do that for 20 to 30 seconds. Alright, second round. I hope that you rested about a minute to 2 minutes in between this. But here we go. Right back to hip thrusts. We got some different angles for you. Squeeze the glutes at the top. You're squeezing your lower belly as well throughout this movement. And you're going to grab the dumbbell. So you're going to hold it on each side like that. Then you're going to hover it right over your head. You're not touching the dumbbell to the ground. You're keeping it in the air. Meanwhile, doing 10 more hip thrusts. You're going to feel this in your upper abs. I guarantee it. If you're not, squeeze them. You'll feel them. Okay? I don't know why it looks like my hips are slanted, but maybe it's my porch. I'm not sure. Okay, you're going to grab your other dumbbell and you're going to do 10 chest presses while you're holding that hip thrust, or that glute bridge, actually is what it's called. Hold it, you're going to hold it and do 10. There you go. Squeeze those chest muscles at the top there. Alright. My face. Disregard that. Okay. Single arm shoulder press. Body is leaned back ever so slightly, so it's a core workout as well. And you're doing 10 front raises with the shoulder, or with the dumbbell. Keep that core engaged. I look miserable. Here we go. Core engaged, arm out for balance. You got 10. You can do 10. This is your last set of these. Boom. Right into RDLs. Remember, we want to pretend like our butt is pushing a car door shut. Here, you're pushing the car door shut, hinging at your hips, sliding the dumbbells down your legs, stopping at your shins. Then you're squeezing your glutes all the way back up so you can really feel it in your glutes and in your hamstrings, okay? Keep that core tight. Nice. Okay, knees bent ever so slightly. Dumbbells, we're traveling down to your shins. Okay, already into the bent over rows. We got 10 of these. Hold your core. Don't let your back go out. Dumbbells to hips. It's going to hit your lats, okay? Okay, right into dumbbell swings for 15. Last set of these. You got them. Hinge at the hips. Dumbbell through the legs. Swing forward. Use that momentum and use your core to swing you back up. Boom. Nice. Squeeze those glutes. Alright, your heart's going to be pumping after those. Last thing on the to-do list, okay? Animal pose, 20 to 30 seconds. I wanted a different angle, but you can't really see my feet. You know what to do. Just keep your knees off of the mat, and you're going to squeeze your core. Back is completely straight. Nice. You got it. Just like that, you're done.